So this is our jumble sentence question. A, B, C, D, E, you have 5 sentences. I saw a lot of sequences. Some sequences are slightly jumbled. Most of you have come back and said B is a topic sentence, and some of you said, that was the easy one for me to identify the topic sentence, and after which I got stuck. And somebody said D. D cannot be the topic sentence, no, because it starts with a demonstrative pronoun saying this. How is it even possible? So out of the question. If caught in the act, meaning what act? Look at A. Obviously A is not the topic sentence. The bellicose Spartan sacrificed all the finer things, meaning remember, in terms of sequence, it starts with a definite article making specific reference, which means these guys have probably been spoken of earlier, right? Or some sort of reference made, so that cannot be. Or maybe that can be, right? We don't know. Those fortunate. Again, who is that those referring to? We don't know. Male children were examined at birth by the city council and those deemed too weak. Okay, so that seems like an output sentence, suddenly appearing from nowhere. So which means out of A, B, C, D, E, the closest one that I can take as my topic sentence is B. Most of you agree with that. The bellicose Spartan sacrificed all the finer things in life for military expertise. Okay, so agreed. And then some of you came back and said E, some of you said C, all of that. What is your clue word or phrase from B? Right? It in fact sets the context introducing the bellicose Spartans. Which one? Topic sentence B. What is the meaning of bellicose, by the way? The adjective that is describing the Spartans. Does anybody know? What is the meaning of bellicose? Bellicose means what? Fighters. Okay. Yeah. True. Right? And of course, you guys, I'm assuming hard-hearted. Okay. Warriors. Okay. Bellicose itself does not mean warriors. Bellicose as an adjective means fighters. Right? Somebody who's willing to fight. Warriors. Yeah. Aggression, willingness to fight. Yes, exactly. So that's the word that's describing the Spartans here. So in terms of clue, we need to look at a sentence which is probably describing these warriors, these fighters, right? How did they sacrifice finer things in life for military expertise? So some sentence which is either describing what that military expertise was, or what exactly were the Spartans involved with, which is that sentence which gives us that information. E, right? Male children were so how did these warriors or fighters came to be selected, right? How were they selected? Male children were examined at birth by the city council, and those deemed too weak to become soldiers were left to die of exposure. So the initial selection criteria was, boss, you have to be strong to qualify to get into the Spartan group. Okay? And then if we move forward, BE, so they've selected the strong guys, right? And then what sort of an expertise or what sort of kind of training that these guys went through, which is a sentence that is talking about that? C, right? C says those fortunate enough to survive babyhood, because they're just talking about, see, this has a direct connection to E. Somebody asked, why is C following E? This is why. Because in E it says babies that were weak were exposed to die. So those fortunate enough to survive, matlab those who were strong were taken away from their mothers at the age of 7 to undergo rigorous military training. Right? So that's why B, E, C. What is left? I have A and D. Okay? And if you look at D is the one that is identifying or expanding on the rigorous military training. What was the rigorous military training? Rigorous meaning very strict, very stringent, very severe, extreme training, right? What is it? So this consisted mainly of, so what is that this referring to? The rigorous military training. So this consisted mainly of beating and deprivations of all kinds, like going around barefoot in winter, and worse, starvation, so that they would be forced to steal food to survive. Yeah, so this is where the context is, right? A has to be the closing sentence because it says if caught in the act. Matlab, what act are they talking about? If they were caught stealing food to survive, they were punished, not for the crime, but for allowing themselves to be caught another lash of the whip. So obviously our sequence is B, E, C, D, A. So most of you I think got it right. B starts with that. Why? Because it's specifically, and if you look at the context, see what I'm trying to say is sometimes you need to look at the context. Hi Chandra. You need to look at the context and then see what is the context revolving around, right? What is the context revolving around? The context is revolving around these Spartans, these warriors. The entire context is talking about how they would get selected initially, what sort of training that they would go through, how rigorous is the training, and then as a result of that, right, what happens, right? What are the other methods followed in terms of training these warriors. The whole context is revolving around that, which means I need to look at a sentence which is introducing or identifying or telling me who these guys are, and that sentence is B. The bellicose Spartans sacrificed all the finer things in life for military expertise. And if you look at the other sentences, it's complementing that sentence, right? What sacrifices did they do? People who were weak died. People who are strong were taken away from their families. They had to go through some extreme, severe, insensitive, harsh training, right? I mean, these are young boys. I'm sure they had their own dreams and ambitions and aims to do something else other than be a part of this, rigorous training, right? So that's the sacrifice that they made. So in terms of identifying the entire crux of the passage. Okay, so whoever got B, C, D, A, you would be correct. All right, so I'm sure by this time you have been able to kind of, understand why, what follows, where, everything, all of that. B, E, C, D, A, that's the sequence.